Turn the fan off for me. Ella, turn the fan. Hello, everyone. I'm telling my daughter to turn the fan off. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Um, this is just awesome to be collectively learning and laughing with you all. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm trying not to miss not a one, not a one. So welcome, welcome. I'll be popping into the chat here and there, and I'll make sure there's some time at the end so we can chat, look at any card pulls that we've done, etc. So let's get started. Let's get started. How's everyone? Okay, so what we are talking about today is the heart of the matter. And so we are breaking down common love questions into an enjoyable reading experience. So whether you are reading professionally or whether you read for your friends, in my case, I used to read for my colleagues at the insurance company that I work for. No matter what, you will be able to benefit from this little discussion that we'll have. Okay, so I am now a full-time reader. I read virtually. I'd say 95% of my readings have always been virtually. I like video, I like live, I like email, etc. And I also, to supplement my income, and I had been doing this when I was working my full-time job as a insurance person. I work for the hotlines, and I still work for the hotlines. So I have a lot of experience with reading for others. I love reading for others. It's my favorite thing. Some people really just want to read for themselves, but I knew early on in my journey, and some of you all can probably relate, about wanting and desiring to read for others, whether you get paid for it or not. So love readings are the main readings that come through the door for me. And I love them. I've been on this earth for about 41 years, and I've had my own share of heartbreak and success in love. So, and I love to talk about living an abundant life. So I love readings because people are looking for love. So I have some tips. I have some tips for you all. So welcome, welcome for those who are now just coming to the space. So let's get started. So the plan for the hour, our time together. We will have a discussion on the challenges that we face as love tarot readers and tips for delivering clear love readings. We'll touch upon our love tarot reading specialties. And this is where, if you would like, you can pull out your deck and we'll pull a few cards to see what comes up for us. So have your decks ready. You know, it's always interesting to see, like, especially if you read, you know, for others, to see what the cards have to say in terms of what is your specialty, like what do you bring to the wide world of readers, right? But there's so many people on the planet, and we all have unique gifts. So I have a fun little exercise for us, a couple of little exercises. Then we are going to break down common love questions into workable, quick, and easy spreads. That's what we're going to do. That's in part 2. And finally, at the end, if we have time, we'll share some card pulls. If folks have any final questions that I wasn't able to cover periodically. And I'm going to try to move forward quickly because I have a lot of material to cover. And so, yeah, let's get started. Let's get on into it. Okay, cool. All right, so part 1 is becoming an excellent love tarot reading specialist. And I have some tips and considerations for you. This part is more like a discussion. So what's all this about? What are we talking about here? So clients want answers to their love questions, but sometimes they're not able to articulate it and they are not able to articulate what they're asking, So it's our job as tarot readers to help them form their questions so we can yield the best possible answers for them that are insightful, that could help them, right? So that's what we're here for. Service oriented, actually, very service oriented, the work we do. And querents will sometimes send you 0 words. And when I say querents, I'm going to use querents and clients interchangeably. Okay. So querents will sometimes send you 0 words, or some will send you 1,000. If you're not clear, though, on what they're asking, this presentation is going to help you get to the heart of the matter of what they're really asking for. So, okay. So what's in it for you? What's in it for you to get to the heart of the matter in a reading? And whether it's love readings or not, you build good rapport with your client. That makes the whole reading experience for you really good, right? It's like if you've ever been in a reading where it's like, ooh, this person is cold or off, or I'm off today, and it's just like it feels laborious as you're trying to push your way through that reading. Whereas oftentimes I find now I lose track of time. It's like, oh, it's been an hour. I've been going through the cards and we've just been vibing. I've been, connecting, and I understand what's going on, and it's, wonderful downloads. But I can remember some of the times where it was like, oh, this is tough, because why? I didn't build that good rapport with my client or querent. But if you have good rapport, what that leads to is repeat clientele. So I have to say, repeat clientele, whether you have an Etsy store, and that's how you get your readings to come in, whether you have your own website, whether you're on the hotlines, having repeat clientele, it's a mouthful, is nice. Because when I was moving, across countries, I could count on my repeat clientele to kind of sustain me while I wasn't trying to attract new clients coming through the door, or whether I wasn't really working the hotlines during that time. My loyal clients who like working with me, they're rocking with me. And so, that's a good thing. That's what's in it for you. And then that leads to wonderful feedback and glowing reviews. It's nice to have your website with those glowing reviews. Wonderful feedback feeds you. Also, getting some critical feedback is helpful too. But chances are, if you're doing some of these steps that I'm going to talk about, it'll become almost like clockwork, part of your regular work routine. And so you start to build confidence with each successful reading. Yay. And empathy and clarity will stand out in your readings. And you can still deliver some news to clients, some that are like, it's a little touchy, it's about, maybe there's some negative patterns coming up with that devil card that, keeps coming up, or, you've done a couple of readings for this person. You're like, okay, we got things to talk about here. But you can do so with empathy at the core, and with compassion and humanity. And I always tell people it's a judgment-free zone with me. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, that there's a way to do it. But first, we have foundations. Okay, so obstacles and challenges that you may encounter delivering love readings. So, kind of touched upon this, incoherent messages or questions. Like I said, and even if you're not reading professionally, you have a friend who, wants a reading from you, it's like, what are you asking me? What's happening here? I don't even know. Like, what are you really asking? So that's an obstacle. Too general or broad in the question. Now, I do know some readers who say, I don't do general readings. I want a specific question. I will do both with the with the, I don't want to say requirement, but I'll say, listen, I need an area of focus. I'll have some people come through the hotlines. I want to talk about my love life, my career, my this. I'm like, ooh, we don't have a lot of time for all of that. We need a focus. But some people are like, no. Some readers are like, no, that's too broad, too general. And it can be a challenge, because if you have a finite amount of time that you're doing the reading for, a 10-minute reading, a 15-minute reading, you're grasping at straws. We're like the internet, like a search engine, right? It's like they put in a little vague word, and now it's got all this information coming at us. What do we sort and what do we pick? And some people are really adept and good and intuitive, where they can just say, okay, I know what this person needs to hear, but some people are not, and that's okay. Just know that this may be an obstacle for you. So too many questions for the time permitted. I've seen that time and time again. My personal clients who come through my website or come through Etsy, they're a little more considerate with this. Actually, I'll say a lot considerate. They'll be like, I'll pay for extra time, but I have a lot of questions. And not so much with the hotlines. They'll just be firing them off at you. So different vibes with the two. Okay, so you seek clarification or ask follow-up questions and there's no response. So maybe you have a setup where you're like, okay, I've acknowledged your reading and I'm not quite clear. You didn't send me anything. You haven't even sent me your date of birth. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? And nobody responds, and you got their money, because that's what I do. I make sure they pay first and I deliver the reading. So, and then we have the closed off querent, which is not the same as the cynic or the skeptic. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in a moment. And then we have cynicism, not the same as closed off. And so closed off querents are usually people who may have had several readings, or maybe this is their first reading, and they already have in their mind like how is it supposed to go. They already know the answers they want to hear. They're closed. Some people are just straight nervous. And then there's the cynic who's like, well, you got to prove me. Like, you got to show me what you know. What do you know? So I'm going to just check the chats. Okay. All right. I'll come back to those in a moment. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's move on. So, tips to consider in overcoming those challenges. So, what we can do when we have the incoherent question, if you can, and even with my hotline work, I do like videos and sometimes chat and voice. So anyways, all that to say, sometimes I am able to ask if I need some clarification. Rare that I do need to ask, but that there is a time. So approach it like an investigator who's asking questions to clarify what's being asked of the reading. Just to be clear, you're asking ... What are you asking? I find that what gets me solid reviews, what gets my clients, whether on the hotlines or in my shop, very happy, is me getting clear on their question before I even do the reading. We can have a policy, and of course you should, about post follow-up or clarifying, questions, and that's okay. And you probably should, right, for good customer service, but there's a limit to it, and I don't really like to have to rehash everything. So I like to get clear before we even start, if possible. Now, if it's coming through a hotline call, not so, but you can still get clarification before the reading even starts, before you start shuffling your cards or whatnot. So here's another tip dealing with our challenges. Too general or broad of a question. The above tip applies as well. The client may not be able to get more specific, but you could say, to summarize your question, it sounds like you're asking about how to attract love. Is that right? Is that, because they'll give you their whole history about how they got up here today and they're not in a relationship. So just summarize it really fast in one sentence. And then they can correct you. They can say, no, actually, no, I've been dealing with this guy, you know, and then it goes on, you know, and then it goes into the correct direction. So too many questions. Here's a tip. So you could say, let's focus in on one or two main questions to ensure that you get the most from the reading. The cards will oftentimes have multiple layered answers to your overall question. Let's see if we can narrow it down to one or two pertinent questions. So again, that's a tip probably when you're doing a live setting or face-to-face, right? Because many places are opening up in the world, and you may be doing face-to-face readings. So the no response to your request issue, and you need clarification. You needed maybe even a date of birth or something. Who knows what you needed, but you needed something. Or maybe they asked something that kind of violated your ethics in their little order, and then you're like, okay, I can do some of your reading, but I can't, you know, you're trying to work with them. So you will need to discern whether or not you have enough information to proceed with the reading. And this is a judgment call, and intuitively you will know whether or not you need, you know, you have what's needed to proceed forward, you know, and so you could just give it a go. I've done that where I've just went ahead and did the reading, and I was like, okay, we'll see, and it worked out. But there may have been one or two times where I'm like, I'm just going to do a refund because, you know, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, let's see. We have two more tips, and then I'm going to hop over to the chat for a moment. So the closed off querent. So if you sense that they're not really open to the answers, ask them what they hope to achieve during the reading. This often opens them up to the possibility of gaining insight from the tarot. And oftentimes they're just scared of the answers, or you could be their sixth tarot reader that they're asking their question to. Find out what they're hoping to gain from your reading experience. And you will probably from time to time deal with people who hop from tarot reader to tarot reader, and they'll be like, well, so-and-so said this, you know, like you kind of redirect them back in a polite way, like, listen, what do you hope to gain from me? Because here's the questions that I plan on asking. So, you know, here's my take on the energies or what's coming up in the cards. I can't speak to what the other tarot reader was talking about 2 weeks ago. I have to go based currently right here, right now. And then the cynic. The jaded or doubtful querent may throw you for a loop, but don't let them. So they will often fire off questions or ask you about your level of experience. You know, you can employ the above tips, but especially the last one. Ask them what they hope to gain from your reading experience. You know, we're professionals, and it's okay for people to be cynical. You know, it's healthy, right, to have a little level of cynicism, but it's not okay to waste the tarot reader's time. That's just my thoughts on that. So I'm gonna make sure. Okay, let me go to the chat. Let me switch. Sorry guys, trying to get this together. Okay. Oh no. Can you guys see me okay? Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can see me or hear me, if it's blurry or not. Thank you. Peanut Gallery. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much. So just looking at our chats here. Okay. And if you have any questions, you can put them in caps, please, or at Abundant Life Tarot, and then I'll be sure to see them. But we're going to have time. I'm going to make sure that we have points to stop. So let me go back to our presentation. Water. Okay, so hotlines, at least the hotlines that I work for, there is some way to capture, like if it was a chat or an email reading or a video recording, right? Not so much obviously for like phone calls, but that's okay. And then for my own client readings, personal client readings that come straight to me, I have ways to refer back to their prior readings. And so if you have a repeat client and their prior readings have been saved, refer back to the old ones to see if there's any themes that were present during that time. I don't always do that. Time doesn't permit, and I don't really need to. The cards will reveal what's going on, but if I'm ongoingly working with the client on a particular issue, it's helpful to kind of refer back and see like, oh, wow, look, this happened, this came about, or like, oh, now I see why that Page of Swords came up, etc. So that's just something to consider to improve your experience, because as tarot readers, you really have to be in tip-top shape mentally, emotionally, physically if you're taking on the work of doing love readings on a consistent basis, right? You start to chip at your well-being if you don't allow it. So I always, when I went to tarot conferences, I soaked in this type of content because I was like, I'm the one. I'm like an empath. I'm the one that's like, oh, I need these kind of tips and reminders. So, yeah. And likewise, for your clients, if you have if you do email readings or video recording type of readings, or if you recorded a live session and you saved it somewhere, I don't know, and you gave it to your client, have them refer back to the readings. And now my clients, they don't even wait for me to suggest that. They're like, oh, I already looked. I looked at the reading we did 2 months back, and yes, I see what's going on here. So have them start getting into the habit of looking back at the information that's already been presented, because it helps, especially for your repeat clientele that you're going to have. So have you been enjoying your love readings lately, or have they been feeling like a chore? And what's making it a chore for you? And whether you do love readings or not, sometimes you get into a grind, like anything we do, any kind of work, even if you're passionate about that work, it can become a grind. So do a reading to get to the heart of why there's resistance, why it feels like a chore for you. It could be that you're burnt out, And I talk about that. So if you start dreading love readings, it may be that you are burned out. So begin to take a day or two off between mega love reading sessions. And, some people I know, they can do like 10 readings. Now they might be quick little readings. They could do 10 readings a day, 6 or 7 days a week. I can't. I have to take breaks. I have a life. I need sleep. I need to rest. I need to see what my own feelings are, because dealing with other people's energies for large periods of time, it can be quite taxing. And so stay lovingly detached. Okay, that's super important. Stay lovingly detached. I had a client one time that we were doing multiple readings, and I was starting to care about him as a friend, very platonic, but I was getting frustrated, like, you deserve better. And so over time, I could tell the cards were picking up on my bias towards her, his point of interest. And I had to actually admit to him that I can't remain objective. I'm starting to I don't know if I'm the reader for you anymore, and you need to, I would suggest you go and seek other readers. And he did. And I was very happy because I wasn't objective. And he appreciated that. He came back to me actually this year, and he got a different kind of reading. So it was like, okay, great. It's okay. It's okay. But stay lovingly detached. We'll talk more about that. You'll see why in a moment. And don't be afraid to draw from your own love experiences. Your unique expression can help convey empathy. Your authentic self is what drew your clients to you. Be all of you. sometimes cards will come up and you're like, oh, you'll see something, right? Light Seers Tarot, the Lover's card, you'll see like, oh, it'll call back to some memory that you had that ties into the Lover's meaning, of course, and then you could really add a little texture to the meaning that you're saying to your client. So, and they appreciate that. They're like, wow, it's like you're reading my mind, because I'll probably be picking up on my own thing that happened in my own memory, but picking up on something that they've been thinking as well. It's magical what we do. But be careful not to judge, preach, or give unwanted advice. Ask the querent if they like guidance, and always bring it back to what you see in the cards, because when I go through other people's reviews, and my one negative review that I got, I think I talked about it on my channel, where the person felt like I was being like, it was an advice session. It wasn't a reading session. And I'm a reader, and I pride myself on knowing the card meanings and stuff. But, it's like it's a fine line between like I'm giving it to you tough and giving it to you straight and sounding preachy. So just a tip, just, be mindful. And over time, you will be able to discern what information to share and when to hold back. And there is such a thing as too little or too much information. And if it feels tiresome, it could be that overall you're just not getting clear on the question that's being asked, like what we talked about at length before. So now we get to pull out our decks. So these cards here, the Lovers, we have the Six of Cups. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I will in just a moment. Knight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. And it's from the Gaian Tarot, top row, and then the Smith-Waite, bottom row. So what are your love reading specialties? I shuffled these already and threw them. I use jumpers. Some of you know that about me, where I use exclusive jumpers. These were the cards that flew out of the deck to this question. So I got all tickled when I saw that the Lover's card was the first card that jumped. So as tarot readers, many of us possess a variety of love reading specialties. What is your specialty? Take your deck and choose 1 to 4 cards to see what is your love reading style or specialty, and share in the chat. So we can use this as a moment to share. I'm going to switch back to me. Okay. Oh, okay. I like the question that I see here. Do you have any decks that you completely avoid for a love reading? I really just have decks that I just do in a love reading, because I like to collect decks. So, so I'm trying to think. I don't really use a lot of Thoth-based decks. I use either. Look how banged up, beat up. It's so bad, so bad. So it's like my second copy of the Light Seers Mass Market. It's beat up, well worn, super just a mess. But I use this one a lot. I'd say right now, over the last, since it's been out, 90% of my readings, love readings in particular. And I use the Smith-Waite. For a while, I was using the Luna Soul, I think it was the first edition, Luna Soul Tarot. The Slow Tarot. The Slow Tarot I like to use for love readings. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I try to keep it just 1 or 2. I like to just really get to know a particular deck that I'm going to be using for client readings. All right, so I want to see. You are so welcome, guys. Okay. Yes, Tarot Map. Love the look and feel of an old worn deck. I know. I love when I even see some of the little edges chipped off. I'm like, whoa, that person was really using that deck. Okay, so that's, oh, look at all the comments, guys. Okay, let me get back over here. So what is your love love reading style or specialty. And so, like I said, for me, I got the Lovers, the Six of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. And so, my little notes here. You can pull or choose. I use jumpers. So if you pull your cards, or if you don't choose, pull, let it be random. Let it be random. Don't choose. Because you could do that exercise too. Like you could use certain cards that represent what you know is your specialties. But for this exercise, thank you, ORC, for that question. For this exercise, just pull at random, or like me, use jumpers. Let's see what we got. Ooh, ORC got the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Okay. And I got the Knight of Pentacles too. And so for me, how I was taking it was that I like to bring things down to the practical levels. And it may take you a while to get to your desired goal, but you're going to get there if you listen to the guidance that's being downloaded and channeled through the reading. Client, I'm going to help you get there step by step, and you will be successful. So that's how I interpreted the Knight of Pentacles, and that's one of my styles. Okay, let's see. Ooh, goodness. Yes, Luna Solar. Yes, Light Seers is awesome. Okay. Ooh, the World According to Wit says my jumper card was Six of Pentacles. It's a good one. Seven of Pentacles and the Sun. So the Sun. Ooh, people may sometimes be like just constantly negative, and so maybe you help them with being able to. Okay, let's change our outlook. Let's start moving in a positive direction. Let's let's stop staying off over here in the devil energies, the negative thought patterns. Wow. Okay. Kate Thompson says Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Seven of Swords, and Temperance. Yes. Ooh. Yes. And I'm an Aquarius too, or see, you have that in common. And so the Queen of Swords does make sense if it comes up in your reading, I'd say. And so, yeah, that's a little exercise and I suppose that you could do this just generally speaking. If you don't do love readings, you could be like, well, I could generally ask what's my reading style or specialty, and then have fun with it. It's just fun to know because like I identify with that. The Lovers, I help people make major life choices, that's related to their love life. And Six of Cups, because I was a single parent for so long, so a lot of my clients are parents or single parents, a lot of them, and they're out there trying to look for love, and so it's funny how that's whom I attract, right? And I also help people to let go of old flames, like their current relationship is just filled with the ghost of the past of their last one. So that's what I think of with the Six of Cups. Mitchell got Hanged Man and Four of Wands. And we have the Hanged Man in common. So that's new perspectives. We help them with new perspectives, seeing things in a new way, turning things onto their head on how you look at things. The art of holding back or pulling back. Yeah, maybe that's the Aquarius in me. I'm like, oh, you want to not treat me right? All right, I'm just going to pull all the way back. So I like to think I'm a specialist at that. And also probably we help them to cultivate patience in the process. So, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. So I love to give fatherly advice. Oh, I like that. And, well, many of us need that. That's what we need. All right, so just a little fun exercise that we have going here. All right, let me go back. Okay, so another exercise that you can do is, what is the best approach for me to deal with obstacles in providing love readings? If you're experiencing a challenging reading, ask the cards how to best handle or approach the querent's question. Sometimes I'm just kind of drained, low energy, and if that's the case, I won't do the reading at all. But sometimes it's not that bad, and I'm just like, why am I having a hard time with this particular reading or sitting down to do this video reading for this person? So I'll ask the cards and see what the cards have to say. And this is only a message for you. There's no need to share this little thing that this exercise with others. You don't need to share that. It's just for your information. And if you are reading, whether you read part-time or full-time, I love this tip that has helped me. Before the start of your tarot workday, set the intention of attracting people ready to receive the messages and for you to be a loving messenger. And just a couple of, this isn't something that needs to take all day. It's just like a few seconds just to feel that and send that out, and you'd be surprised. I think it makes a difference. All right, so now we are moving to part 2, breaking down common love questions into easy workable spreads. And a tip that I have for those who start reading, especially professionally, is to have your go-to spreads. Because you're going to see a lot of similar questions over and over again. Every now and then you'll be surprised with a cool, different out there question. You're like, yes, but it's going to be some variation of love. So there are 3 types of love readings. Now we know there could be all sorts of types of readings, and especially love readings, but I've broken them down. We have the single searching for love. The next category is he or she into me? And then the other one, the last one, the relationship challenges questions. So in the single searching for love, we have number 1, will I ever find love? Is my soulmate out there? Number 2, I'm so tired of being alone. Will I ever find love? Number 3, what's wrong with me? Why haven't I found the one yet? Number 4, do you see me falling in love? Number 5, why can't I find someone who wants to be in a relationship? And number 6, is there someone out there who is destined to be with me? So you see, that's the flow of how I have these broken down. So we'll look at the other 2 in more depth as we go through the presentation. So let's get into these questions. Can help them. You can be a way shower for them to help them with the cards on how to get closer to it, So I have to be really tender with my singles who are searching for love readings. I'm tender with all of them, but so here's the 3 question spread. The first one is, what's coming up next in your love life? With singles searching for love, I just get to the heart of the matter really quick, because that's what they're really here for. They'll say, oh, well, I want to know when is love going to happen, not realizing that they're the ones manifesting how their love life is going to go. They just assume that someone's going to knock on their door. So I like to look at the energies and say, okay, well, what's coming up next in your love life? And if you use timing or predictions, this is where you can say, okay, this is what I see. Now, I've seen 3 of Swords come up. So what's coming up? Well, at least for the next 3 months or so, and it's looking like you're a little disappointed with the love situation. And what's some guidance? So the next question helps to kind of soften the blow. What is some guidance to help you attract love? So advice, right? Guidance. But It's questioned in a way to say, hey, we're downloading guidance. And this is a fun one. I don't always throw this one in, but usually they like it. What are some traits of your next grade lover? Or what are some traits for your next lover will appreciate about you? I especially like the second part, because what the tarot will reveal about them, their best selves, is what they should be selling themselves as the world is opening up and it's now time to date again. So that also just kind of reinforces whatever guidance is question number 2. All right, let's get into the questions of, is he or she into me? So number 1, what does blank feel about me? Number 2, does blank like me? Do you or they see a future with me? Number 3, do you see me and blank having a future together? Number 4, what does blank want from me? Do they only want sex or something more? And number 5, is blank seeing other people? Some people have an issue with this one. Is blank seeing other people? What do they like in their romantic partners? Now, I'm not going to judge on those, and I do what's called third-party readings, if you want to call them third-party readings. But some people are like, I'm not going all the way into this other person, but that's for another video. The heart of the matter is the querent wants to feel like they are progressing in their love life as someone who shows promise. Like, finally, someone is here and we're starting to date. I think they're into me. I don't know. So here's our 3 question spread. What is the nature and extent of blank's feelings towards you? And it says how it kind of takes the focus so much off of that other person, the third person, and bring it back to the querent. Number 2, what's blank's intentions for the relationship with you? I didn't put with you, but with you, querent. And number 3, what is blank prepared to do next? What's next for your relationship? So 3 questions to speak to this little box of, is he or she into me? All right, let's get into relationship challenge questions. Number 1, we do not want the same things anymore. And sometimes they'll just state things. Clients, querents, they won't really ask a question, they'll just state. Number 2, is there someone else? Number 3, I can't choose between blank or blank. I don't know who I should be with. Number 4, blank continues to do drugs, continues to overspend money, continues to hang out with friends all the time. We keep coming back to each other. Number 5, I think blank is ready to move on, but I want our relationship. And number 6, I'm ready to move on, but I really don't know if I should. Should I go? And so the heart of the matter is the querent wants clarity on what they can do to improve their relationship or to achieve a graceful exit. All right, so that's what's at the heart of the matter for our relationship challenges box. So here's our 3 question spread. What is blank prepared to do for this relationship with you? What needs to be healed in this relationship? And I like this question. Guidance, but also it turns it back gently without pointing blame to the querent about what parts maybe they need to do. Now, this question could show, in the reading, like what both parties, what they may need to do to heal this relationship. But there will be times in the reading where I'll say ask a question like this, and I'll kind of direct it towards, this person needs to maybe stop, overspending. And they're like, well, actually, it's me. I just get really stressed out, and I do a lot of shopping, and it's me. And I know I need to deal with that. I know it's bothering me, but I'm also bothered by him. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. What's next for the relationship or spirit's guidance on how to heal and move forward? And so I put the what's next at the end of the 3 question spread for relationship challenges, because with those folks, I'm taking them through, the process to get to, okay, this, you got a relationship. These are the things that are going on. This is what you could work on. And if you work on them, this is what the outcome could be. Or you could show them an alternative outcome. That could be something else that you do. So now let's do a love reading. Singles searching for love. And we're just going to show these. Let's see. I have been looking for love for 3 years. I can't seem to get a second date, and I'm beginning to wonder if I will ever fall in love. Will I find love? If so, when? And so what do? We bust out our 3-question spread. What's coming up next in your love life? What is some guidance to help you attract love? And what are some traits of your next great lover, or what are some traits your next lover will appreciate about you? So there's your 3-question spread for your single searching for love peeps. Let's do our love reading. Is he or she into me? I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. What gives? Is there someone else? Does he not like me anymore? I really thought we had something special. So 3-question spread. What is the nature and extent of Blank's feelings towards you? What are Blank's intentions for the relationship with you? And sometimes the relationship may not be what our queer thinks it is, and that will come up in the cards too, thankfully, right? And what is Blank prepared to do next? What's next for the relationship? And so sometimes we have to get honest with them. And then, maybe they'll come back, you're queering for a question on, okay, clearly this person is not really into me. I'm ready to find love. Can we do a reading on how I can attract love or find love? And that's how you're building repeat clientele, because I would hope that you'd be honest with them on what's coming up with the cards and in the cards about the messages. That's what we do. Let's do a love reading. Relationship challenges. I am feeling disconnected and not sure if we are meant to be together for the long haul. Is this relationship worth saving? We keep hurting each other, and I am not sure there's any love left in our marriage. Does my spouse even want this marriage? And here's our 3-question spread. What is your husband or wife or spouse or significant other prepared to do for this relationship with you? What needs to be healed in this relationship? And what's next for the relationship, for Spirit's guidance on how to heal and move forward? So I did it. Okay. I wanted to get through the presentation, so now I can head back over to the chat and see what you all are saying. Let's see, how do I do this? Let's go back here. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, I like this question. So Essence 818 asks, how often do you get feedback from the query confirming the accuracy of your reading? How do you feel when you don't get feedback? I keep moving on. I trust that no feedback is just like, okay, girl, keep doing what you do. Because if it's really off base, they're going to tell you. Or if they're like, ooh, I need clarification. And then they'll ask for it. But I don't dwell on that. And as well as I'm not like, I probably could be better, like, oh, leave me a great, review if you like, or something like that. I could probably do more of that, but I'm like, no, like, I'm just going to do the reading and continue to do so. And I put in the email that I sent to them confirming the email or confirming the reading. Let me know if I'm not on the mark with the questions I intend to ask for your reading. And also, when I send the reading to them, I say in the body of the email that goes out to them, I'll say, if you need clarification, please let me know within 36 hours following receipt of the reading. Because, I'm moving on with my energies or my thought patterns, and cards have been moved off the table and moved on to the next readings. But I give them that opportunity. And so we can iron out any issues that may come up. It's a great question. Let me see what else we got. Hi, Crunch. and just my daughter. Thank you, Jonathan. It's my small space saver. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Stellar Rain Dancer. I try to be thorough. I think it's that Aquarius sun about me. Let's see. Oh, I love it. You had a power nap, Scott. Good for you, right? We'll see. We'll see if I'm gonna I don't know if I'm gonna get a power nap today or tonight. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. So yeah, love readings. What decks do you guys use for your love readings? How many of you do like prefer to do love readings? Like, is that a thing for you? Or you're like, no, I really want to just focus on life purpose type of readings, or career readings, or, and that's okay. Again, there's how many people on the planet and who need a reading? So, there's plenty of work for all of us. Plenty. Ooh, yes, Stellar Rain Dancer. Tarot. I never can. Is it Mucha? I probably didn't get that deck because I didn't want to be mispronouncing it. Just to be honest, it's beautiful though. Oh, my clients respond to light seers. They love it. And Smith Waite, because I think it's because it's something that they're used to. It's traditional. That's the ones that my clients are like, yeah. And I think also because it's so evocative for me, let me just make sure it's not fuzzy. Y'all saw this at the opening. That I'm able to just keep going and going as I'm doing a reading, that they're like, oh, well, clearly that's the deck. So I think it could be a combination. Yeah. Oh, I like that. The World According to Wit. First of all, I like your name. I get weird love readings, so I prefer not to do them, but I love the Modern Love Tarot when I do love readings. That's a great one. It is on my short wish list now. Like Auntie K's Tarot Insights. Hey, congrats, by the way. Let's see. I like love readings because they mean a lot to people. They do. That's how I feel too. Yeah, I usually use Star Spinner. Oh, nice. I heard that was a good one for love readings. Or Mystic Garbage. Ooh, for a rougher look. Like that. Yeah, Astro Lady, I'd be lying to you if it didn't wear on me sometimes of the Will My Ex Come Back. That one, I'm like, which is, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. There's also the other scenario of, what is it? Just chasing unattainable people. Like they're never, it's just not a chance. It's hard, but I just like, Spirit, use me as your vessel. This person is coming to me for insights. Let's see what comes up. But you're right. That's why I have to take breaks. That's why I take breaks and like a day off, day on, day off, day on. I try to break it up because it can be empath overload. Ooh. I always go back to my Lily White. It's so pretty. I love that one. Oh, let's see. Oh, good question. Okay, Mama. Hi. Y'all know I love Oracle decks. Love them, love them, love them. And I layer my readings. So since my style is, I like to do questions for my spread. So if my querent sends a request for a 45-minute reading, I come up with questions for their reading. And then what I do is I sit down with like a video. Usually it's a video or audio clip, it depends. And I do the reading and I'm throwing the tarot and then I throw a corresponding oracle to talk to each other. And then I might use it as a closing message. Like I might have a particular deck. I love using the Power of Surrender Oracle. Hay House, very inexpensive, usually always on sale. I like using that one. for either inside of the reading for clients or at the end with love readings, because it's like, it never lies. It's like it'll have something, a card like surrender people-pleasing habits, surrender negative thoughts. Like it had, and it has like a little message at the bottom. So if you're doing quick love readings, it's just easy. And they're spot on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let's see. Out of what? Like he gets married and now we can't. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at the chat about the bags. You guys are funny. Oh, I love it. Stellar Rain Dancer. The Will My Ex Come Back reading is one that gets guaranteed for me to refund and walk away. I won't help you chase someone who is emotionally unavailable. That's another thing, too, that I like to just, in my private practice, yeah, I'm like, ooh, I see that A, you're asking this question, and B, you've come back to me. It's like, I'll give them one. And then if they come back again asking the same question, I'm like, ooh, did you not see what was going on here? Nothing's really changed. And let me just say, if I entertain them and throw the cards, not like, thank you, Spirit. Usually the same message comes through, and I'm like, nothing's changed. I think I may not be the reader for you. But with hotlines, yeah, they want you to go ahead and work with those clients. And so you have to, that's why I'm probably doing a day on, a day off, because it's like, whoa. And so another reason why to get repeat clientele for your private practice, if you can. But I like hotlines. Hotlines, there's a place and a space for them. And some magical stuff can and do happen. I have some really awesome clients by way, and repeat clients through the hotlines. Well, we're down to 4 minutes, guys. Hold on. I need to do this. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for being a part of Tarothon. I was with Jen at Northwest Tarot Symposium, and she's right, that just that beautiful collective, collaborative energy, and it just envelops you. And I get so giddy being in this environment with you all. I want to thank Simon for doing this. This is awesome. You are ahead of your time. Did you know that we were going to be dealing with a massive pandemic where we needed to be virtual anyway? You probably didn't even know that, but your intuition did. And so thank you, Simon. 4 years strong. And Jen, I'm so thankful for you jumping in and just doing an awesome job. So thank you. And thank all of you for joining us and being such an awesome audience. So, yeah, guys. Next up, we have in the lineup Tarot for Transformation by Mitchell Osborne. And the link to Mitchell's presentation, his segment, is in my description box. So just click on that and head on over. And I'm going to head on over. I got to see what this is all about. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie Music. Thank you guys. See you all around in the virtual. I like to think of it like if we were at a conference, the virtual conference, with the classrooms walking through the halls. See you guys later. All right. Oh, thanks, Jen. Thank you, C-Cat. Thank you, guys. Oh, you guys are amazing. Big virtual hugs to you. Yeah, I have the peanut gallery, my little assistant. All right, see you guys in a few. You're welcome. Thank you, Angie D. Thank you.
You shut down. No, you did not. I said stop right there. You need to stop. You did. I wanted to be here. Did you see me type in the chat?